welcome to PPR Podcast number 141. It's brought to you by the San Diego Strike Force. Normally, Bert Grossman would be in the right seat, but he was called away. So filling in with great aplomb, if you will, is Montell Allen from San Diego Friday Night Lights. Montell, would you like to introduce our special guest?
Yes, we have now the number one team in the San Diego counties, strong safety, Parker Vance. How do you feel, man? How do you feel winning? I can't really get it. How do you feel winning the big game?
It still feels unreal. It doesn't even it's still trying to hit me. It's so exciting. I'm so happy for our team.
All right, talk a little bit about, I said this before the game. I go, Granite Hills might not be as talented as Lincoln, but I'll tell you what, one thing they aren't, they're not afraid to play Lincoln. Could you speak to that? Because you guys, I think everybody who steps onto the field with Lincoln is a bit intimidated by that sea of green, and they should be. Those kids are fast. They play football the way God intended, if you will, and they're big and fast, and there's a lot to be afraid of. But you guys weren't intimidated. Why do you think that? Is it because you're big and fast too?
Honestly, for me, I wanted to play Helix, Carlsbad, and Lincoln. So I was kind of happy that Lincoln ended up pulling off the win against Helix. I don't think we were intimidated by them. I mean, they're a good football team, but I think we knew that we're an even better football team. So we just went in there and did what we do. And then, yeah.
That's interesting you say that, because I talked to your coach in the beginning of the year, and when I was setting up the Kickoff Classic, he was the only coach in the county that said, we want Lincoln. He didn't shy away from it in one bit. He didn't ask for anybody. He goes, no, we want Lincoln. And you guys played them in the Kickoff Classic just as tough, especially for the first half. And then it just showed, as you guys went through the year, you guys just had that big momentum going on and on and on. And it looks like you guys' confidence just grew every game, that you guys know you could beat anybody in the county. Is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, I could say that all our confidence are a little boosted right now. Our thought going into these Lincoln and Carlsbad games, we just wanted to knock every undefeated team off the board. That was hard. That was my thought process, I guess.
Montell brings up the Kickoff Classic. Getting ready for Saturday night's game, do you even pull that tape? Do you even look at that again? Or as you're in your preparation, did you look at the Kickoff Classic tape?
We didn't. I don't know if our coaches. We didn't look at it as a team
That's so far ago that everybody's doing something different by then.
Yeah, and I think both teams have gotten way better since that week 0 time period. So.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You guys have definitely gotten better. The growth I've seen in you guys in your team and in you. One is the confidence, and the play calling you guys had, it played to each one of your players' strengths. Coach puts you in positions to make plays. He doesn't put you way out there in the island to make you super deep. He puts you in a position to make plays, and I think he sets that tone for all the team. How do you guys feel now preparing for the next round to go ahead and being the top dog in San Diego? How are you guys feeling going into the next round of the playoffs?
Well, we don't for sure know who we're playing yet. I know it could be Servite or Mission Viejo, I think. And it's just how that whole bracket plays out. But I mean, once we figure it out, we're just going to watch film and we're going to do what we always do. We're going to adjust to their plays and just go and try to shut them down.
Well, let me tell you something. It doesn't really matter, because both those programs are really, really good. I mean, there's no walkover for you in this one.
I know it never gets easier for us.
Hey, could you talk about what it's like walking around school right now?
Actually, we're on our Thanksgiving break, so I haven't gone to school since the game yet.
So that sucks. I mean, you can't even get your adulation and all the pretty girls and everything coming up and saying hi. And you haven't been in class?
Nah, we actually when I go. I like going into my classes and my teachers would kind of just talk to me about the game. So that sucks. I can't do that.
Well, hey,
Hope they don't forget too much when I come back.
Yeah, I suspect they're going to remember. You guys are going to get a parade one way or the other, because what you did. I mean, let's face it. I don't know. I don't think it was a David versus Goliath thing because I don't think the difference between the two teams was as much. But still, all the money was on Lincoln.
Yeah. I mean, anybody that was a betting person was betting on Lincoln. Not to knock anything that Granite Hills was doing. It was just that Lincoln we thought was very battle tested. They've been prepared for this moment. They're ready to get there another again. And then this bump in the road called Granite Hills was there. And even in the beginning, in the first half when they took the lead, I was like, okay, maybe Granite Hills is overwhelmed. But you guys did just like you did with Helix. You guys kept going, pounding, grinding away, and then things just started to break your way. Talk about your coaching staff, man. What have they been instilling in you guys to keep you guys motivated, even when things look bleak? You guys still don't have that no give up attitude.
I think we got one of the best coaching staffs out there. Like, we got Coach Vinny, our DC, who just fires up the defense like time in and time out, and he kind of gets us ready. And then we got Cobbs on the offensive side, and even him being like more of an offensive coach, he still is like giving us defensive players like pep up talks and just getting us ready.
Perfect.
We got a huge coaching staff that are all really supportive, so they definitely help us out a lot.
You know, Mater Dei rightfully gets a lot of credit for their back-to-back state titles. But if you were to pull this off somehow and win 2 more football games, this would be a more significant accomplishment than Mater Dei just by the size of the titles, right? Weight classes?
I think it's more significant, and I just think you got to look at kind of how it comes. Granite Hills is more of a homegrown team.
Neighborhood team.
They're all neighborhood guys that grew up together, Pop Warner together, and grew up through youth football together and kind of came to this one team. And, man, I'm still so marveled by you guys' belief in each other. Because, like I said, everyone's betting on Lincoln. You got the split crowd with Helix. Carlsbad, everybody was against you in that stadium. Carlsbad was good for you guys as fans. And you guys have just been able to knock over one by one. And every game has been a classic, right? It hasn't been like you guys blowing them out or they blowing you out. It's been an instant classic each 3 games that you guys have been successful in. And I'm amazed, man. I'm just amazed how they do it.
You know, listen, I want you to answer this question, young man. Brandon Stone tweeted out right after you won the Lincoln game that said this was the best 3-game series in open division history, referring to all 3 games. Mm-hmm. Begging the question to you, being that of the people in this conversation, we were at all 3, but you were the only person that played in all 3. Which one, in your view, when you go to bed at night, is it just Lincoln because of the stakes, or which game was the most significant in your mind?
I gotta say, Lincoln's obviously like up there considering it was at Snapdragon and it's like the championship, but Carlsbad's gotta be like, that game is still just like in my head. I'm like, wow.
I'm going to have to say that's probably the best high school game I've ever witnessed.
How about the drama, though, of the Helix game? To follow that quadruple overtime game and then to play a double overtime game that gets decided on a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, that game's also up there, but they're all so evenly matched. It's honestly hard to just pick one. That's like the greatest 3 games I've ever been involved in my life.
So I got a question for you, and I was just talking about this. East County is now the king of football area in San Diego right now, with all the teams that from East County that are playing in these championships game, and you guys are obviously the king of East County. How good is the football in East County? And I want you to be a little bit braggadocious about this. How good is the football in East County coming out the way you were able to be able to take over? Because remember, before it used to be North County with the Oceansides and Mission Hills. Then it came down to the cities with San Diego High School, as well as Lincoln, winning the last couple of championships, and then Mater Dei down in South Bay. Now you guys are the king of the throne. How does that feel? And tell me a little bit about how the community of football is in East County.
I think East County is a really together, place. Everyone's kind of really they all support football. Mm-hmm. Everyone's involved in it. We got, looking at our games, look at all the fans that are there. Everyone, there's so many people there. Everyone, the crowd's in it, everyone's in it. It's just East is running it right now. So,
I didn't
everyone's just excited.
I feel the same way.
That's so true. Maybe the Well, I don't think Mount Miguel has a neighborhood element on the team, but Verlaine has also brought in a lot of guys. But you guys, do you have any transfers on your team that have come from elsewhere?
We have our center, Keaton Boyce. I forgot where he came from, but he's a transfer. And then we have, I'm not sure if we even have any more.
Yeah, so it's a neighborhood team. Mm-hmm. Also, like these guys that you've been playing with, other senior. You've known these guys since you're little, right?
I've played like every kid on our defense. I've played either against or with Pop Warner with, I'd say.
Yep.
So like, yeah, I've known like all of them for so long.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Grossmont, you guys, Helix, Mount Miguel. Who else is there? There's one more. Foothills Christian. I know they're a small school, but they just won it all.
Yeah.
There's something about that. The water in East County right now.
It's pretty special.
That is pretty special, making these great teams and these great athletes come out of there. And I just have to salute. And there's great coaching as well. I don't want to alleviate the coaching.
Yeah.
The staffs that everyone's putting together is bar none some of the best football that's being out there. And that's not to take away nothing from Lincoln and all the cathedrals and all that, but there's something special going on in East County. Also, El Cajon Valley, they had a great year. I mean, there's just something that's really going on that's big in football there, especially in you guys is leading your division. And I will shout out to Ron Burner, too. I ain't forget you, Ron. Santana, all you guys, I haven't forgotten nothing about it, you guys. But there's something special going on in the water out there, man, that's making you guys really rise to the cream of the crop. And I don't know what it is, but you guys have got the formula because you guys are number one right now,
Yeah. There's just so many good athletes out there. And I think, I feel like every year it just gets better and better athletes. Like, it never just, gets quiet for a little. I feel like there's always that team or person that's just popping off.
Mm-hmm. Can we talk about your style play as, man, there's tacklers and there's hitters and then there's that rare kid that wears number 20 at Granite Hills. He's a tackler and a hitter. I mean, the only mistake I saw you make was on the touchdown run by Reed, I think it was. I mean, that one you're going to lose some points. But other than that, man, I watched the Lincoln arms get shorter and shorter every time. I mean, you arrive in a bad mood. Can you talk a little bit about that? Most kids try to shy away from contact. You seem to relish it.
I mean, I'm just going out there to make a play. I'm just doing what I'm taught to do. But I will say, I'd count myself as a hitter. But I think, honestly, our secondary has got to be one of the, biggest hitting secondaries out there. We got, Jordan Glaze and Nicoy Maddox, Giselle and Chubbs. All of us are hitting. Once the running back gets past the front line, I feel like usually they think it's a little easier, but then they're just come down and get cracked by one of us. So,
your game reminds me of Asa Turner at the University of Washington. Used to play Carlsbad kid. You're tall, you're lanky, you don't shy away from competition, and I know you haven't got a lot of interceptions, but you are a ball hawk. I've seen you knock down a lot of balls this year that goes in the air, and due to your height. How do you feel about yourself going to the next level? I know you're only a junior, but there's going to be two things, and I got two questions.
Well, let me break. Because you're a baseball player, right?
Yeah, I'm committed to TCU for baseball.
Wow. Now, could that conversation change
next year?
I mean, I assume some people's eyes opened up saying, hey, I'd want this kid in my secondary, or is baseball your first love?
Baseball is definitely my first love, and I got to say TCU is my first love too. But, I mean, I love football, so I don't think baseball is ever going out of the picture, but...
there's a possibility of duel. You can duel.
I know that. That's what I was. That's a thought in my mind too.
Yeah,
it might be in your mind, but I guarantee you, both coaches are going to have a different opinion. Neither coach is going to want you to do it in the other sport. I'm going to tell you that right now.
That's how it's going right now.
Man, that's amazing that you're a baseball committed. That means, to me, that tells me you have tremendous focus, right? Because that's the hardest thing to do is hit that ball square. So you got good focus on there. But I do believe, I know you're committed, but I think there's going to be a few football coaches coming knocking down your door saying that they can change your mind just because of the way your style of play. Like I said, you remind me so much of Asa Turner, the way you are, the way you play. And you probably haven't seen him. He's been injured this year, but if you get a chance to watch a couple of his highlights, your game is very similar.
He's a D1 kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're a D1. But explain to me the love of baseball. And you mentioned two things, the love of baseball and the love of TCU. If you could, expand on both those for me.
Baseball, I've been playing baseball since I was like 8 probably. It's just one of like those sports where you just kind of clicked with it. And kind of everyone that I've played with has coached me. They kind of all just knew I was going to be good. And I've came like such a long way in that. It's like, just looking back, it's so insane, like looking at me now from back then. And TCU, they were my first offer. And like the minute they did, I checked them out, and I just like, their campus is amazing. Their coaching, it's like their field, like it's all so cool. Like it's awesome. I'm really excited after high school to go there actually. So.
Hey man, there's more money in baseball, so I'm not mad at you.
Well, you bring up money. You bring up money. Can I ask a very gross question that you don't have to answer, but because I pry, now we have the NIL thing going on. Does that enter in the recruiting conversation when they say, "Hey, we want you to come here, and this is how you'll be compensated"?
No, they haven't talked to me about any NIL stuff, but I don't really know if they even like do. I think it might just like happen after, but I'm not really sure. But maybe I can get my face on like a couple posters or something out there.
Well, you certainly have the California look. Yeah, that'll. But so that was your decision is based strictly on the school then, which is refreshing.
Yeah, and I mean they're a top baseball program out there, so that definitely is a big factor in it too.
Yeah, well, I mean I meant both. Beautiful campus and top-notch program.
Yeah, and it's in Texas.
Remind me again, are you a pitcher?
No, I'm an outfielder, hitter.
See, that like I said, I already know you got tremendous concentration because you can hit the ball.
And track a fly ball.
And track a fly ball down. So I think those attributes have a bit of a carryover into football. Yeah, actually, let's elaborate on that. How does your baseball success and the things you've been able to achieve in baseball carry over to your success in football?
It's just like, I feel like every year I have an even better year. So it like gets even, like it just gets even harder to like one more than the other. Mm-hmm. Like baseball and football, I'd say are two very different games though.
Yeah.
It's like baseball is a slower, more mentally challenged sport. Mm-hmm. Football, I just got to go out there and let like everything loose. I mean, like that's my take on that.
If I'm your coach at TCU, or maybe even your baseball coach at Granite Hills, and I'm watching you flying around, lowering your shoulder into people, I'm probably like not crazy about that. I mean, has there been any pushback about, hey, son, your future is baseball. Why are you playing football?
Actually, all the coaches at TCU, the ones that I've like talked to, they like two-sport athletes. Mm-hmm. Like they like that I play football. They like that I'm like able to do this, and it's just like, yeah, they've been supportive. No one's ever like been holding me back.
Well, we know Bo Jackson the Great did baseball and football. We know Deion Sanders did baseball and football. I think Parker Vance would be the next one to be able to.
We also know Michael Jordan tried.
Yeah, Michael Jordan tried. But I think Parker Vance, I think you have a bright future in whichever sport you choose. Yeah. I think based, like you said, is your first love, but I think there's going to be a few football doors knocking down your door to see if they can convince you to switch any otherwise. And I wish you nothing but success on your decision. Even though I know you said your decision is final now, I think there's going to be a few more cards thrown in the hand.
Let me play a little game of what if. What if the new San Diego State guy comes in and says, hey, you could play baseball here at Aztecs, but we also want you to play football, and we're going to be cool with you doing both. Would that sway you at all? If a school that you wanted to go to offered you that?
I mean, that's kind of like I can't like make that decision right now. I think that's a decision for some like in the future if that ever happened.
Well, and TCU could also make you that offer too, right? I mean,
if TCU made that offer, I don't think I'd back it down. But
well, they have a pretty good football program too, from what I understand.
Yeah, they got some good things. Plus, man, I think like you said, the NIL thing, I think that's going to be coming your way naturally. You know, you're a gifted athlete; those things are going to be coming. Now, tell me one more last question I really have about you as far as baseball and going to TCU. Like, what was that main attraction? I know you said you liked them ever since you were young, but what was the main attraction, and how did they approach you recruiting?
Yeah, what was the selling point? When did you know you were sold?
So I knew I was sold once I went on the visit. And so like I didn't like them since I was young. I never even had like a dream college. So like when they came and reached out to me, I didn't know too much about them. But then like I've never even been to Texas before. So I like flew out there, me and my dad, and then we went on a visit, and they kind of showed us around like we went on like the campus like tour, like someone led us around. But it was just like nothing I've ever seen before. I visited some other campuses, and then I just went and saw TCU, and I was just like, wow.
They set the bar real high, really high.
It's a pretty place.
Yeah.
But when you're there, you can play baseball, maybe play football, but you also have to go to the class. I still think that's part of the college experience. What do you study? What is going to be your major at the next level?
Honestly, I have no clue, but I got like another year and a half to think about that, so I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, man, enjoy high school. Paul's already putting you in the major and throwing you in.
Well, all right, I'm just we're all right. Then let's stay closer to home. Then, what's your favorite subject in high school right now?
Yeah.
My favorite subject.
And give that teacher a shout out too.
Yeah. Come on, give a teacher a shout out. Who's the person?
My favorite class right now is probably history with Mr. Forrester.
There you go.
Why?
Like, I probably just like the teacher, honestly, but.
Shout out to Mr. Forrester. There you go. Yeah. And what's your worst class? But don't shout that name out.
What's your worst subject?
What's your worst subject?
I hate math, man.
Jeez, you and me both.
Oh, man.
All right. So we're getting close to wrapping this up. Just best advice you've gotten along the way from a coach, parent, adult. Who's influenced you the most, and how?
I've got to say there's not just like one individual person. I can't like say one of that, but my parents obviously have been like supportive along the way, the whole way. My whole family, like even that, but I got to say Coach James Davis, our AD in baseball coach, he's taught me that to trust the process. So that it may not be working right now, but it'll eventually click and keep going.
There you go. I got one question.
Sure.
We're gonna do a little bit of rapid fire. I want to know the top 2 players you went against.
Top 2 players
in football? Yes.
Mason Walsh, and I gotta say actually the combo between Mason Walsh and Julian Sane, but then also Kevin Allen.
There you go.
They were tough.
They're tough. And I want to know who's hit you the hardest. Because I know you bring hat. I want to know who's delivered that blow where you're like, whoa.
I don't know what his name is, but actually number 24, the other running back on Helix. He can lay the boom a little bit. I tackled him once, and after I got up, I was like, yeah, all right, dang, that rang me up a little bit.
Oh yeah, there you go. Hey, go ahead. No,
please. You just rapid fire.
Oh yeah. And then I want to know, we know Sam, but who's the best quarterback you faced this year as a secondary?
Julian Sane.
Okay, but you got to talk about your quarterback, because isn't it off the charts? I know you're young, but he's even younger than you, and he held up under that pressure.
So over summer, like when we were doing our like practices and all that, I was like at baseball a lot of the time. So like I didn't really know who like Zachary Benitez was at the time. So and then we go into our first like game, and I think he had a little bit of nervous jitters, but like he still performed good, and then like he just kept on going. Like he's a freshman quarterback that is winning an Open CIF championship. Like that doesn't get much better than that.
that kid's got ice.
Have you ever seen it before?
I've never met him before. I've only seen him play.
No, but have you ever known a freshman to win an Open Division game?
No, I haven't.
Final.
I have not. Mostly sometimes, at some point during the season, the moment gets too big.
Yeah.
Not for him. It seems like the moment, the bigger the moment, the better he plays.
Yeah.
So he's got something special within him. I was watching the game when you guys played Helix, And right when I watched and I saw you guys win, I was like, he just punched a D1 ticket.
Yeah.
He just punched a D1 ticket by that winning that game. And then this is getting better.
Yeah, and
Carlsbad, and then this championship game.
And he strikes me as a kid who's going to keep his head on his shoulders, that he's not going to be, driving a Bentley around. He's going to be, he knows the path forward.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Because I wanted to ask about the jump pass touchdown that you caught in the Open Division. Jerome was hot on your heels. Could you feel his breath, and were you afraid to get caught from behind?
Pablo tossed up the ball, and I had to stop a little bit, to receive it in. And then I give a little peek back, and I see Jerome full speed coming at me. And then I'm just running, and I look to my right a little bit, and I see his shadow directly behind me. And then that's when I hit I just started to curve to the left a little bit, and then that's just when he stopped running. But I tucked the ball way tighter when I saw the shadow. I'm not gonna lie.
There you go. Yeah, there you go, man.
The last thing you want to do is be caught from behind, right? I mean, you'll never live that down.
First offensive play, on varsity, so.
That was?
Yes.
That was your first play you played on varsity on offense?
Yeah.
And it's for a touchdown and wow. Man, the story's already written.
Dude, you're like Paul Bunyan. You're going to have your own folklore. All right, well, listen.
That was probably the highlight of my game, but.
There you go, man.
All right, well, so we, young man, we're hitting 26. We never go longer than this, so we appreciate you making time for us. I was impressed because I came up to you right after the game in line. I said, hey, and then I thought of it.
You caught me mid-celebration. I was out of breath. I was trying to
But I just was, you know why? Because when I played, I was always where the sideline was. I avoided contact. I didn't want to get hit. I didn't want to get my uniform dirty. And there was always that 3 or 4 guys on the field, guys like him that just relished the contact. Yeah. And those are the guys that play beyond high school. And I suspect, we know you're going to play beyond high school. It's just we don't know what sport. But you know what sport. It's going to be baseball, right?
I mean, as of right now, yeah.
Okay. Hey, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.